Hello everyone, my name is Danny and I'm here today with 2022 IBJJF featherweight world champion Isaac Doederlein. Isaac, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I'm just still soaking in the moment and having a hard time believing that this is actually real. My lifelong goal, I finally achieved it, and it's been a crazy last couple of days, and I just have so much gratitude for everyone that was around me that made this possible, because I didn't do this alone.
It was really cool. Right after you stepped off the podium, I got a chance to do a short interview with you, and you kept saying, "I can't believe this is real. I can't believe this is real." So now that you've had a couple days to adjust and to accept the fact that you won the world title, how are you feeling now?
I still can't believe it's real. It's a crazy feeling, man. It's like I haven't been able to sleep much, because why go to sleep when your dreams came true, you know?
That's amazing.
It's like reality is even more amazing than sleeping and dreaming of it. So yeah, it's been a surreal moment, and I'm still soaking. I'm still trying to soak it in. And just looking back on all the years and everything that it took to come up to this moment, and I think that just made everything sweeter.
And by winning, you became the 6th American to ever win an IBJJF world title. What does that mean to you to set a record like that?
It means a lot to me, but it means a lot to me as well that I can inspire other people that it's possible. I remember when I was a kid, I've been competing in Jiu-Jitsu since I was 12 years old, and I started when I moved to the West Coast when I was 14. I was exposed to the West Coast circuit of Jiu-Jitsu, which is very different than where I was from in the Midwest, in Minnesota. And it was very different, the scene, and there was a lot of Brazilians, and I remember just thinking, like, man, like, oh, there's a Brazilian in my bracket, or there's a name that I don't recognize, and I remember just, like, that mentally breaking me, and just seeing that, like, oh, like, how can I beat this guys from Brazil? Like, they get the best Jiu-Jitsu out there. And to just set an example after all these years, to show that, like, anybody can do it. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're from. It's just if you're hungry enough and you're seeking the knowledge that anything's possible, and just to be able to set an example that it is possible it's an amazing feeling.
I think an even more remarkable part of the achievement is that it was your 6th Worlds. Your first Black Belt Worlds was 2016, and you've gotten on the podium before at the Worlds, but you never got the gold. So can you talk a bit about what it means to win it after all those tries, and maybe give some advice to people who aren't having the success that they want in competition, but they keep coming back and they want to overcome that hurdle?
So I feel like most people when they lose, they always try to make themselves feel by making excuses and blaming refs or blaming this, blaming that. I think that it's important to be real with yourself, and always look back on your performance and just think what you could do better. And regardless if you won, regardless if you lost, try to constantly improve. And I remember when I first got my black belt, I did very well at brown belt. I almost Grand Slammed one year in 2015, and I lost in the finals of Worlds. And to have that success and then go to black belt and not have the success immediately, it was very eye-opening to me, and it just made me even hungrier. So every year I would do pretty good, even against the highest level guys. I fought really high level guys, but I just wouldn't be able to get the W. And every year I just kept studying, and I let the passion of learning and improving just drive me. And every day I would be taking notes and writing down what I could be doing better, what I did good, what I did good in training, so I can remember that transition, so I could try to replicate it for the future. And just this mindset of constantly improving, but also just being passionate about my craft, not just passionate about winning, because everyone wants to win, but passionate about learning and improving and getting better. I think that's what kept driving me, just to stay hungry and hungry and hungrier, and seeing the improvement in myself made me think, like, I can do this. And then I would lose, and a year later I'm like even better. I'm like, I can do this. And a year later, and it took 6 years. And actually even longer, right? Because we didn't have a Worlds in 2020 because of the pandemic, so it was actually longer. But it was just that belief of, like, I'm ready. I'm ready. And then finally this year, I was really ready, and I was able to just display that. And that was a powerful moment. And it's an amazing feeling to overcome it, especially after all those tries. I think that's why I was so emotional in the end. And even my friends, everyone I looked up in the crowd, everyone that I knew was crying. And just because everyone knows how much effort I had to put into this to make it happen. And yeah, it was just a powerful moment. It was a powerful moment. It felt so good.
So you faced a lot of familiar opponents at the Worlds. You faced Israel Almeida, the Sodre brothers, Diego and Alex, and also Sam Nagai. And you mentioned during an earlier question that you go back and study your matches and try to make improvements each time, writing down your mistakes, making corrections. How important was that process for getting these wins back? And can you talk about those matches and just how you felt about getting the wins over those opponents?
So when it came to fighting the Dre Bros, those matches that I would fight with them, they always came down to like little technicalities, and because they're very good at controlling and slowing the match down. So I had to find ways to start ahead so that I could get them to open up a little bit. And especially with Alex, I think at Worlds we fought, and I was able to sweep him with 20 seconds left. He pushed me out of bounds. He was trying to chase me out of bounds, and I got that, and that is what I used to lose. That's what happened. That is how I ended up losing the match, was that penalty. So the last two times I fought him, he started to use that strategy again. When he was down, he started trying to push me out of bounds and stuff like that. So that understanding, going through that situation previously, made me much more prepared for the end of the match. I remember even thinking, I was like, okay, there's a minute left. He's going to stand up and he's going to try and push me out of bounds. And he did. So it was just being prepared for little strategic attempts like that going through that in the past, very prepared for that when we fought the second time. But little things like that, going through that and failing because of that, just really put it in front of me and dial it in. Like, okay, I have to be prepared for little things like that. And with guys like that, it's like you have to start ahead, because if not, they're not going to open up the whole match, and it's going to slow things down. So you find guys like that have really opened my eyes to the strategic part of competing at the highest level, because it's not, nowadays it's not always going to be the most technical guy that's going to win. It's going to be the most strategically prepared. So fighting those brothers really in the past really prepared me for the Worlds mentally.
So you mentioned the strategic adjustments. Would you say that you went in with any technical adjustments or any new techniques or new positions that you were trying to implement?
Definitely. No matter what, every tournament, I'm always every single time I put myself out there, I'm always going to be a better version of what I was previously. So definitely, like, there's a lot of new things that I figured out with passing and controlling and dealing with the lasso, because I know that Alex likes to deal with the lasso. So there's a lot of things that I learned over the last 2-3 months that aided me in that match for sure when I was playing on top. So I think it's very important where even if you win the tournament, you have to have the mindset of what can I do better? Because even if you win, it's like you still want to be the champion. I think a lot of people think like, okay, I won, all right, next time I'm gonna try to copy it, or I'm going to or I lost, and they may be like, oh, I'm just going to be a little more strategic next time. And yes, we have to think about how we can be more strategic, but the better you get technically, it makes everything easier. So I think that having that mindset is very important.
So you've been representing Alliance for your whole black belt career, and you train under Cobrinha in Los Angeles. I know he was in your corner for the final of the Worlds. I'd love to hear about his influence just on your whole journey since you moved out to LA to train with him.
So, I moved out to LA 11 years ago almost. I was 18 years old, and I remember I had no money, I had nothing. I just had a dream. I had a dream in my back pocket. And at the time, and still, Cobrinha, he was a 4-time world champ, and I had seen that he had so much success with his students, because back in the day, he was teaching out of Alliance Atlanta, where Jacare had the gym. and he had people like John Thomas, Pedro Torres, Alec Balding, who back in the day, I mean, still they're all very good, but back in the day they were killing it at the lower belt level, and I saw how they're moving, and I was like, I want to move like that. I want to be able to perform how they are, and I knew that they were doing something different because back then there wasn't the outlet for learning jiu-jitsu wasn't as big. There wasn't a lot of information online. I don't think modern jiu-jitsu was really a thing. I think Corbino was the one who put modern jiu-jitsu on the map, and then from there, everyone else kind of followed his recipe, and then from there, people were able to also evolve. And I believe that he has a huge impact on where the game is today. But anyways, when I moved out to Corbino's, I was just a purple belt. And he took me under his wing, and he helped me learn the system, and I was surrounded by so many good people over there that helped me with my living situation, and they would drill with me, and I had no money back then, so to have all the support that I did, that gym definitely brought me to where I am today. And to have Corbino there in my corner it just meant a lot to me, and I honestly don't think I would have won that championship if he wasn't there in my corner. And I remember even before the tournament, so a month ago, and I fought and I got knee barred. I didn't tap to the knee bar, but it was pretty bad and it tore my leg. And for 2 weeks, I was just like, I wasn't able to train that much. I was even like changing my game a little bit because if I'm going to compete, how am I going to work around not using this leg? And I did a lot of physical therapy, and I had a good doctor too. He helped me out a lot as well, and my legs started feeling better. I remember I went to Corbino's office, and I was like, I had 2 weeks left till Worlds, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do Worlds. He goes, I think you should do it. He's like, but we have to train smart. We have to train hard. We have to train smart. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not feeling like I'm in the best shape right now because I've been training the last couple of weeks. And he's just like, he's like, we just got to fight smart. We got to fight smart, and we have to use your experience. He goes, you're 29 years old. You've been doing this for a long time. He's like, you're more than just like trying to blitz guys and kill guys. He's like, you have a lot of experience. You can use strategy. You can use your body positioning to get into better positions. So I took that mindset out there with me, and I said, okay, like before, I've always been the live or die by the sword type of guy, and I still do. Like if you give me the opportunity, I'm gonna go out there. But what I learned this tournament is that like you don't have to be going for it all the time, 24/7, because then you're just gonna gas out. So I took that mindset with me, and I've always known that, but the experience taught me to even just remember that in the match, and in my matches. So I feel like this tournament I fought very smart, and that was because of all the advice that Corbino gave me. But yeah, I've been there for 11 years, and there's been a lot of ups and downs, but at the end of the day, I stayed loyal, and I trusted in his vision that he had for me, and I've had amazing training partners over there like Kennedy and my friend Fabio, who teaches there as well. And just I would not be where I am today if I didn't make the decision to move out here to LA, and just have so much gratitude for everyone that's there.
That's amazing. And another great thing about Alliance and just all the competitors is that they actually won another team title. They're 13th at the Worlds, and you were a big part of that. You got first place at the Worlds, so you got them a lot of points. What did it mean to you to contribute to the 13th Alliance team title at the Worlds?
That meant a lot. That meant a lot to me. Especially, I remember when I was a brown belt, and they put me on like the B team or the C team, and I remember thinking like, I'm gonna show you guys. And here I am. I got them the title. It felt really good. I know that in Brazil they have like a wall in the Sao Paulo. They have a wall of like all the champions like Corbino, Michael Langhi. They have everyone on that wall, and they have like the dates that they won. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, if I get on that wall, I'll be the first American on that wall in Brazil. That would be such an honor. So yeah, just to having played a big part. Was I like a tiebreaker or something like that? You mentioned something.
I believe you clinched it with your win, but they were still crazy. Up by quite a few points. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But still, yeah, that's crazy. That's it. I'm honored to still to still be, contributing to the team, and huge honor.
That's amazing. Well, Isaac, I want to congratulate you again. Such a big accomplishment. 6th American to ever win a world title on your 6th try. So it was really kind of a perfect storyline. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, or anything you wanted to touch on before we wrapped it up?
I just wanted to give a shout out to obviously my team, like Corbinia, Kennedy, Fabio. I want to give a shout out to, I have a crew also. I teach at a gym called UACTP in Los Angeles, a little bit towards downtown. I have a crew of guys over there, and we're a small group, but a lot of these guys, they have contributed to my success as well. And I've been on the mat trying to figure out a position for 7 hours before. And these guys have stuck it out with me and stayed on the mat with me and just would give me feedback and help me with reactions. And all of these guys, like, this is our win. And I'm just grateful for the crew that I have over there. And, I couldn't have done it without these guys. And I want to thank my sponsors, Undefeated, right? They've been supporting me for the last couple of years, and they're such a big brand. They're so successful, and for them to be sticking by me even when I was not on top meant a lot. And then now I won a world title, and this is their win as well. So I'm just happy to be surrounded by the people that I have in my life. I'm grateful for my wife, Laura, who, it's not easy. It's not easy supporting an athlete with just a dream. Right? There's not a lot of fun, right? You're not going out on the weekends and drinking and partying. No, you're focused all the time. And to have somebody that's by your side through these times, and when you're dieting and cutting weight, and for them to be almost doing it with you, because most of the time they're not eating pizzas in front of you, right? So to have somebody like Laura and my wife Laura in my life, that's supporting me and living this, like, this is our win as well. So I couldn't have done it without her. And my daughter Olive, who's almost 3 years old, she motivated me so much. And like I mentioned earlier, when we did the interview after Worlds, my son, I have a son coming in a couple weeks, and that really drove me to this world title, right? Like, I remember just thinking, like, I've had 2 goals in my life, right? Before turning 30. And one was to become a millionaire, and then the other one was to win Worlds. And to win Worlds before turning 30 was a big thing, and to have it before, and to get that right before my son was born, that was even more special. So yeah, this is everything, all of the failures that I've had in my life, it all built up to this very moment. And now I look back on it and I can see, like, that's why it happened. That's why all these crazy losses and all these failures that I've had in my life, I look back and say that all happened for this moment to come right here. And it was just, I wouldn't take anything back. So I'm very blessed.
That's amazing. Well, congrats again on your world title. Congrats on your son coming into the world. Your story is really one of determination and grit, and I think it's going to inspire people for a long time. So I really appreciate your time. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you guys soon for another interview.